Welcome back, guys, to another episode 2, season 4, Two Guys and Hockey Talk.
Woo! How's it going, everyone? We have a jam-packed show for you tonight. We have a special guest. Leah Hextall is here, the journalist, commentator, public figure, play-by-play for the NHL, and she's got some great insight, not only in the NHL, but her coming ups in hockey and things that she's going to share with us, some really insightful stories. We hope you're excited. Evan, how you doing?
I'm doing fabulous, really excited. Want you guys to know, Leah Hextall is the first female to call play-by-play nationally for the NHL and the first full-time play-by-play female voice to call. We're excited to bring her in. We want to welcome Leah Hextall. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hey guys, it's so great to be here. Finally, this has been a long time coming, so I'm glad we finally got to do this as we get ready for puck drop on the season.
Can we just say this? Can you let our viewers know that I was trying to bring you on at the end of last season?
I am such a jerk. Basically, Evan, you just threw me under the bus and called me out for it. Yes, no. Evan has been so diligent and very kindly every, once a month, hey, Leah, we'd love to have you on. Very kind. And I'd like, oh, yeah. And then, of course, things get a little busy. Summertime rolls around. But you know what? We are here. We're doing it. And I guess that's all that matters at the end of the day, right? I hope.
Exactly.
Well, we hope you had a wonderful summer. I mean, I personally like saying no to Evan because he gets annoying. You're lucky it's once a month for messaging. I get once a day, and it's just overwhelming. But, I can handle it. But welcome to the show. It's exciting to have you on. So we always ask everyone that comes on for the first time kind of share their passion for where their passion for hockey came from and where it first kind of emerged for you, where you fell in love with the game.
Well, Pat, for me, it was very simple. I was born into the family with the last name Hextall, and that's really what it is. I mean, when you live in Manitoba, Canada, and you belong to the Hextall family, which originated here, all of, my grandfather, who's in the Hockey Hall of Fame, my two uncles that, played for over 20 seasons combined, and then my goaltending cousin, Ron, who guarded net for Philly and is now the Pittsburgh Penguins general manager. It's very clear early on that I had a hockey family and that it was part of who I was. And the fact that, too, Ron started playing when I was only 8 years of age. And in his first season really took over in the league and went all the way to the Stanley Cup final. I don't know how old you guys are, but, I might be aging myself here. But the 1987 final between Philly and the Edmonton Oilers, I still think is one of the best Stanley Cup finals I can recall in my lifetime, going all the way to Game 7. And, Ron ended up winning the Conn Smythe that year, first player to ever win it from the losing team.
Wow.
Which the Vezina, all in his rookie season. So that really blew it open, that whenever I would introduce myself, not only then, but since my entire life, when I say Leah Hextall, I go into a bank. When you're here in Manitoba, and quite frankly, pretty much a lot of places in Canada, people immediately go, "Are you related?" And whether it's Ron, my uncles, some people like my grandfather even remember. And, it really is a privilege. But that's truly where it came from. But I never played the game. That is, I think, one of the things that people don't know about me is that I have never played the sport of hockey. Can I stand on skates? Absolutely. Really well? Not so much. But, I played street hockey. I played shinny on, the local neighborhood rink. But when I was growing up, there really wasn't organized girls hockey, where I was living up north in Manitoba, very isolated community. There was ringette, but I didn't want to play ringette. I wanted to play hockey. And my dad was very acute, though. He said, as soon as they start hitting, she can't play anymore. He couldn't foresee what women's hockey would become. Not to say that I would have ever got to that level, but it made a lot of sense. So I really had to then learn the game from the outside in, and get to where I am today. But it just really genuinely came from my family, and I'd be remiss if I didn't say my father, Randy, won a national title in the Manitoba Junior Hockey Annual Cup with the Portage Terriers, and today he would have been in the NHL. I truly believe he was a scorer, a skater, but he was 5'10" and slighter stature. And back in the day, that just wasn't the thing. We're talking 70s, right? So he went to the St. Louis Blues training camp, but never made it. But I think today he definitely would have been able to skate in the NHL, even if it is just on the fourth line. He would have been great there as well. So
How can you not be in love with hockey when you come from a family background like even if you hated hockey, you were saturated. They implanted and brainwashed you as a young child. I have to say, so I was 17 when he won, and I was a late Pelle Lindbergh fan. In fact,
yes.
I cried when he died that day. I became a goaltender because of actually Pelle Lindbergh, and we actually through the family knew Bob Froese actually.
Okay.
And wonderful guy. We actually knew his father, who was quite an interesting story, very unlike Bob. But yeah, so when Ron came in, no one thought he was actually going to be able to do what he did.
No, I don't think he thought he'd be it. Well, I shouldn't say that. Ron's the most competitive person maybe in the world, so I really shouldn't say that. He might whack me for it. So, but he really came in, and it's so lovely because Chico Resch was the veteran goaltender at the time, and Chico is now a broadcaster. He's the color commentator, and I had a chance to meet him this year when I was calling a game in Anaheim against and I can't ask for a nicer man, and to the point where Ron's son's middle name is actually after Chico. So Chico had a really big influence on him. I'll never forget seeing a story called Chico and the Kid, and when Ron was and Chico became my favorite goaltender, and so Ron would be like, "Well, who's your favorite player?" And I'd be like, "Well, Chico." So yeah, and I never even had a chance to meet Chico because by the time Ron kind of wheeled into Winnipeg, Chico had retired.
Oh
so,
man. Okay, well, you come from extensive experience as a reporter, journalist, commentator. You've been a public figure. You became the first female to call play-by-play, I believe, for an NHL nationalized game, and the first full-time female to call play-by-play. Maybe share that experience with us.
How much time do you have? Yes.
No, the question is, how much time do you have?
Exactly. I think first of all, it's been a great experience. It's been a ride like no other, and I never thought that I'd be the first to do anything. I mean, this was not in the cards. It was not in the plan. I was a host and reporter for the majority of my career. And I was working in Boston when Sportsnet got the rights deal in Canada for 12 years, a big deal. And they offered me a job. They took over the Hockey Night in Canada brand. And when I started my career at CKX Television in Brandon as a Canadian kid, working for Hockey Night in Canada was the absolute dream. And to be able just to talk hockey was such a dream. So I left a really great job in Boston and moved back home to Canada. And unfortunately, while everything was so wonderful after year two, because of economics, they did layoffs across the board. And I was one of them. And then after that, I couldn't find a job in the industry. With all my experience in a host and reporter role, I was auditioning and I was interviewing. couldn't get a job. They kept going in different directions. And it was very clear to me that the industry was changing. And even if you have all the experience, even if you have some talent with you, the industry was skewing in